Hey, what is up, everybody? I am here to give you guys my Read Aloud series for The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, Chapter 28. And please make sure you guys click down in the playlist down in the description box below for those of you that have just joined this Read Aloud series now. And because you guys will be very confused if you just and you guys check out my Read Aloud series for this book for chapters 1 through 27. So now that I've covered that, let me get right into the book itself. And this is chapter 28, and this chapter was called Huck Mounts Guard, Huck Mounts Guard, sorry. And this chapter starts on page 181 and it ends on page 185. So I'm just going to get right into it. That night, Tom and Huck were ready for their adventure. They hung about the neighborhood of the tavern until after 9. One watched in the alley at a distance and the other the tavern door. Nobody entered the alley or left it. Nobody resembling the Spaniard entered or left the tavern door. The night promised to be a fair one, so Tom went home with the understanding that if a considerable degree of darkness came on, Huck was to come and meow. Whereupon he would slip out and try the keys. But the night remained clear and Huck closed his watch and retired to bed in an empty sugar hogshed about 12. Tuesday the boys had the same ill luck, also Wednesday, but Thursday night promised better. Tom slipped out in good reason with his aunt's old tin lantern and a large towel to blindfold it with. He hid the lantern in Huck's sugar hogshed, and the watch began. An hour before midnight, the tavern closed up and its lights, and this is in parentheses, the only ones thereabouts, and then the parentheses close, were put out. No Spaniard had been seen. Nobody had entered or left the alley. Everything was I want to say suspicious, but I don't think that's the word, but I think it's auspicious. The blackness of darkness reigned. The perfect stillness was interrupted only by occasional mutterings of distant thunder. Tom got his lantern, lit it in the hogshed, wrapped it closely in the towel, and the two adventurers creeped in the gloom toward the tavern. Huck stood sentry, and Tom felt his way into the alley. Then there was a season of waiting anxiety that weighed upon Huck's spirits like a mountain, like the way Mark Twain described that. He began to wish he could see a flash from the lantern. It would frighten him, but it would at least tell him that Tom was alive yet. It seemed hours since Tom had disappeared. Surely he must have fainted. Maybe he was dead. Maybe his heart had burst under terror and excitement. In the uneasiness, Huck found himself drawing closer and closer to the alley, fearing all sorts of dreadful things and momentarily expecting some catastrophe to happen that would take away his breath. There was not much to take away, for he seemed only able to inhale it by thumbfuls, and his heart would soon wear itself out the way it was beaten. Suddenly there was a flash of light, and Tom came tearing by him. "Run," said he, "run for your life." He needn't have repeated it once, was enough. Huck was making 30 or 40 miles an hour before the repetition was uttered. The boys never stopped till they reached the shed of a deserted slaughterhouse at the lower level of the village. Just as they got within its shelter, the storm burst and the rain poured down. As soon as Tom got his breath, he said, Huck, it was awful. I tried 2 of the keys just as soft as I could, but they seemed to make such a power of racket that I couldn't hardly get my breath. I was so scared they wouldn't turn in the lock either. Well, without noticing what I was doing, I took hold of the knob and open comes the door. It weren't locked. I hopped in and shook off the towel and great Caesar's ghost. What did you see, Tom? Huck, I most stepped onto Injun Joe's hand. No, yes, he was laying there sound asleep on the floor with his old patch on his knee and his arms spread out. Lordy, what did you do? Did he wake up? No, he budged drunk. I reckon I just grabbed that towel and I started. And then here's a picture of that situation happening, and I'm not sure how well you can see it, but I think the picture describes it pretty well. I never thought of the towel, I bet. Well, I would. My aunt would make me mighty sick if I lost it. Say, Tom, did you see that box? Huck, I didn't want to look around. I didn't see the box. I didn't see the cross. I didn't see anything but a bottle and a tin cup on the floor by Injun Joe. Yes, and I saw 2 barrels and lots more bottles in the room. Don't you see now what's the matter with that haunted room? How? Why, it's haunted with whiskey. Maybe all that Temperance Tavern have gone to a haunted room. Hey, Huck? Well, I reckon maybe that's so. Who would thought such a thing? But say, Tom, now's a mighty good time to get that box if Injun Joe's drunk. It is that. You try it. Huck shuddered. Well, no, I reckon no. And I reckon not. Huck, only 1 bottle alongside of Injun Joe ain't enough. If there'd be 3, he'd be drunk enough and I'd do it. There was a long pause for reflection, and then Tom said, Looky here, Huck, let's not try that thing any more till we know Injun Joe's not in there. It's too scary. Now, if we watch every night, we'll be dead sure to see him go out sometime or other, and then we'll snatch that box quicker lightning. Well, I'm agreed. I'll watch the whole night alone, and I'll do it every night too, if you'll do the other part of the job. Alright, I will. All you got to do is to trot up Hooper Street a block and meow, and if I'm asleep, you throw some gravel at the window, and that'll fetch me. Agreed, and good as wheat. Now, Huck, the storm's over, and I'll go home. It'll begin to be daylight in a couple of hours. You go back and watch that lawn, will you? I said I would, Tom, and I will. I'll hate that every night for a year. I'll sleep all day and I'll stand watch all night. That's all right. Now, where are you going to sleep? In Ben Rogers' hayloft. He lets me in, so does his paps. And this is what it says. Nigger man, Uncle Jake. I tote water for Uncle Jake whenever he wants me to, and any time I ask him, he gives me a little something to eat if he can spare it. That's a mighty good nigger. Oh, it sounds so racist to read that back, but Tom, especially with the way he says it, he likes me because I don't ever act as if I was above him. Sometimes I've sat right down and eat with him, but you needn't tell that. A body's got to do things when he's awful hungry. He wouldn't want to do as a steady thing. Well, if I don't want you in the daytime, I'll let you sleep. I won't come bothering around. Anytime you see something's up in the night, just skip right around and meow. And then actually that's the end of the chapter. Very good chapter. I actually thought that something bad was going to happen there with, Tom nearly getting caught by Injun Joe. And, they finally came up with more of a plan about how Huck's just going to stay up all night and watch and wait for Injun Joe to leave so they can go and snatch that chest, and he's just going to sleep all day. And I thought that was a really good story and a really good chapter. So overall, I thought that was a nice setup. And with the name of the next chapter, I actually am looking forward to seeing what happens there. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please make sure you guys like, comment, and share this video so that way people will watch it. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel for more content, and you click on the bell so that way every time I upload a video you guys will get the notification for it. And make sure you guys do the same for my CM Brothers YouTube channel. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.